He's ready to buck with Ben. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ben Cornett, and welcome to Let's Buck with Ben, episode 2. And today, on this episode, we're going to talk about the 2023 schedule release for the Buccaneers, as well as the quarterback competition, or is it? Um, yeah, it's going to be between Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask. But let's get right into it here. I'm going to put up the banner right there. There it is. Have at it, episode 20. Oh, no, wait. That's not it. Sorry. Sorry about that. Just got on here. So there it is right there for you. Anything can happen live. And right there is the topics today. So let's get right into it here. As you know, well, before we do, this is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers show. We talk about the Bucks, strictly Bucks. There's other shows I do that we talk about other stuff, but I wanted to do this particular show on the Bucks. Now it is seasonal, as I've mentioned before. Right now, we're not going to do it every single week, but as soon as like training camp comes around and then the regular season, that's when we're going to have our weekly shows. Um, this whole background thing is messing with me. So what I'm going to do is take out the green screen here. Just give me 1 second, guys. Again, I had to set up some stuff earlier. Anything can happen live on TV. So let me get this all set up. There we are. If I'm freezing, let me know. It looks like I am. Little technical difficulties. Again, I apologize for that. Yeah. So while I keep talking, can you guys still hear me? I guess you guys can still hear me. Um, can you see me here? Because it is freezing up on me a little bit. Let me get to it. Again, guys, I apologize for this. This is not the way I wanted to start the show, but right now having a little difficulty with this StreamYard. Yikes. I look a little weird, don't I? With my mouth open. And you can make this as a meme, I guess. All right. Let's see here. I want to try to get rid of this virtual background. I've been having some issues with the green screen. Trying to make this thing a little more fancy, and so far that has not worked. It worked pretty good last night on my Have At It show, but um, it is really not. It's really messing with me right now. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take a quick break here. I'm going to fix a little something on this. So I will be right back, and just give me a few minutes. I will be back in a few. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. The StreamYard is just not working for me right now. Okay. Can anybody see me? Can you see me now? Let me see. Okay. Is it good now? Are we back on? All right. Cool. Again, I apologize for that. Having some difficulties on the StreamYard. Um, I restarted my computer. I'm working on my little laptop, my MacBook. So hopefully we can get back on track here. So anyway, let's get right into it with the schedule for the Buccaneers. I'm going to pull that up right now. Here we are. And this is obviously the schedule there for the 2023 season. We'll start out with the preseason. Obviously these, the results don't mean anything as far as wins and losses, but um, this year is going to be very important for the Bucs because there's going to be a lot of positions up for grabs. So looking at these games, obviously with the 17th game in the regular season, we now have just 3 preseason games, that's fine with me. As you know, this year the NFC plays 8 home games and 9 road games. So last year we played 9 home games and 8 road games, but we actually only played 8 um, home games in Tampa because the other home game we had against Seattle was actually in Germany. So it is what it is. But this year we will be on the road for 9 games during the regular season. But in the preseason, we got 2 home games. The first preseason game is a home game against the Steelers. The second preseason game is at the Jets, and the preseason game is in here against Baltimore. So those are the preseason games. The game you're probably going to see the most starters play will probably be preseason game number 2 at the Jets. That's where we'll probably even see Aaron Rodgers, probably play maybe a couple quarters or so. We'll see. But as you can see here, let's dive right into the regular season. We open up at Minnesota. That's an interesting game. I did have a prediction. I felt like we would either play a division game or we would play like our own division game, NFC South, or we would play an NFC North team to open the season. And sure enough, I was kind of right on the money there. We're at Minnesota. That's an interesting game there. So I went over like my wins, losses, who do I think we beat and who do I think we don't beat. This one I'm putting as a loss to start the season. I know, but you're going up to Minnesota. It's a tough place to play during a regular season, and Minnesota's lost some on defense. The Bucs may have as good a defense as Minnesota still, but the question is going to be the offense. This will be the first game with a couple new offensive linemen starting for us, and also we got a new quarterback that will be starting for us. That's not named Tom Brady, and we will get into the quarterback discussion in a little bit. But as far as the schedule goes, I would say opening week. Now the good thing is we have a few months to prepare for Minnesota, so that's kind of a good thing. But Minnesota also has a few months to prepare for us, but the one advantage we could have is that we know who's probably going to be starting for Minnesota. That's Kirk Cousins. The Vikings don't know who we're going to start, so that could be an advantage for us. But at the end of the day, I still think Minnesota's offensively is a little bit better. I think they'll put up just enough points, and I think they'll win that game. So I put Tampa this one as a loss for us in week 1. Now week 2, we're going to play the Chicago Bears at home. It's our home opener, 1 p.m. Eastern. This one's an interesting game. Obviously, we got Justin Fields and the Bears coming to town. They got a familiar foe for the Bucs and wide receiver DJ Moore. That was in that trade uh, with Carolina. With Carolina getting the number 1 draft pick, drafting Bryce Young, and so Justin Fields has a weapon. DJ Moore is familiar with us. He's played against us several times, so that should be an interesting game there. Um, I do like our chances in this game. The Bears are still trying to figure things out, as are we. But I think for this game, we'll win this one. I got the Bucs beating the Bears in week 2, so that makes us 1-1 on the season. Week 3 is a Monday night game. It's one of our 2 primetime games the Bucs get this year, which is still pretty cool. I thought we would get at least 1 primetime game, but we got 2, so that's even more cool. So this will be one of them. The defending NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles come to Tampa on Monday night, and that starts at 7:15 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And also, that's a double header too. So I forget what the other double header game was on that night, but we're one of those games. So we are playing the Eagles. This is going to be an interesting game. Eagles are very good, and Jalen Hurts, he had a great year last year. That defense had a great year last year that helped them get to the Super Bowl and almost take out Kansas City. Monday night games are usually pretty close. I think this will be competitive, but I think at the end of the day, Philly right now has the better roster and just the better overall talent. Defensively, I think we'll keep up with Philly, but I just think they're going to be a little too much for us in the end. So I got Philly winning that game, beating the Bucs. Again, these are just very, very early predictions. Who knows? We have training camp. God forbid we've always seems to have injuries. From any team. I know last year was very disappointing to see Ryan Jensen go down early. That created a lot of problems for our offensive line, as you know. So, again, these are just early predictions going by the schedule and everything. Like we knew who we were going to play before the schedule release came out, but it's just when we were going to play them. And, again, with the Bucs having a little bit of a different offensive line, it's going to take some time to gel, but hopefully they will get it together sooner than later. But I think in this game on Monday night, I got the Eagles winning this game, so that'll make us 1-2. Week 4, it's a short week. We got to go to New Orleans, a division battle. It's our first division game. It'll be at the Saints. As you know, they're a brand new looking team with Derek Carr at the quarterback position. Now, Alvin Kamara is suspended. He'll be out for a while, so we won't see him. But we will see Chris Olave, their wide receiver. Defensively, they did lose some pieces. Davenport. They still got Cam Jordan. Tyrann Matthew's getting a little older, obviously. Can he be still effective? Maybe. So there's no more Marshawn Lattimore. So he's out of there now. So maybe Mike Evans will start taking over dominating the secondary. But the Saints drafted pretty good with Brian Breezy from Clemson. So they got some pieces on defense. This is a division game. This could go either way. As you know, last year we won in New Orleans for the first time in a long time. But I will say that I just get this feeling we're probably going to lose this game. Again, this is a short week. Things aren't really going to start to get together till probably a few games down the road. But I hate to say it, but I'm marking this one as a loss as well. The Saints will win this game. So it makes it 1-3. But again, this is just my opinion. Of course, I could be absolutely wrong. We could be 3-1 instead of 1-3 at the time. I hope I am wrong on that, and I hope that we are 3-1. But just looking at the schedule right now, the way it's played out so far, I'm going to say this one's chalk it up as a loss. But it could go either way. I mean, I don't think the Saints are that dominant of a team in our division. But again, you got to consider short week. Monday night game at Philly, or in Tampa, but it's against the world champs or the NFC champions. It's going to be a tough game, short week. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Week 5 is our bye week, and normally I'm not a big fan of the bye weeks early on. If my record is correct on this, we're 1-3. That's probably a good thing. We got a bye week to rest up and make some changes, adjustments, stuff like that. But I like the bye week to be like in the middle of the season, between like week 6 and week 10. So that way you play kind of half your schedule already, and then bye week, and then you have your other half of the schedule. But this year we drew the early bye, so could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, who knows? But that's just how the schedule goes. So that's week 5. Now week 6 we return at home to play another NFC North team. And by the way, the Bucs used to be in the NFC North, so we're very familiar with these teams. Until I think it was 2002 when we did the realignment and we went to the NFC South. But anyway, week 6, the Detroit Lions, the up-and-coming Detroit Lions, who ended the year on a high note, and a lot of expectations this year. Shout out to Alex Loosemore, my co-host on NFL Edition. His team's looking good right now. They drafted well. They're getting the pieces together to make a run, and this is going to be a very tough game for Tampa. Again, the defense is clicking there right now. Aiden Hutchinson. They got some other good draft picks. They got Gibbs, the running back, the rookie. That's going to be a tough test for this Bucs defense. Obviously, last year we didn't stop the run as well as we did in years past, during the Super Bowl run and then 2021. So we got to be ready for this team. They are cooking right now. And if, the Lions meet those expectations of, being a playoff team and more, it's going to be a tough game for the Bucs. So, yeah, I'm looking at this one too as a close game. I think we'll be competitive, but I got this one as a loss. So, yeah, the record right now is 1-4. Again, it's just, how the schedule is played out, how it was set up. That's why I'm basing it on the wins, losses there. So I do have it 1-4 right now. But again, that's just prediction. I could be totally wrong. Hopefully I am, but we'll see. So let's go on to week 7. This will be a division game. Again, it's another home game on October 22nd. That's against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta's kind of, are they rebuilding? Are they taking that next step? I'm not sure. This is a team that it's a little confusing. They've at times they played well last year, but then other times they didn't. But in this game, they got the rookie Bijan Robinson. We're going to face another rookie running back 2 weeks in a row. So, this is going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go Bucs here. I think we're going to win this game. This will be our second win of the year. The Falcons, while defensively they're improving through the draft, I still got questions about the quarterback position. Now, same thing with the Bucs, questions about the quarterback position. But Atlanta, they got Desmond Ridder right now, but I don't know. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to say this is a win for us. So we win this game against Atlanta. That would make us 2-4. So, yeah, I got that one as a win. Now, the next game is going to be, again, another short week, even a shorter week. We got to go on the road to Buffalo. and this will be a Thursday night game on Prime Video, October 26th, against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. The weather's going to get a little colder, and this is a very tough game. The Bills brought back pretty much most of the players. They did lose Tremaine Edmonds to the Bears, their best linebacker, but pretty much they got the same group. And this is going to be a tough game for this offense. And defensively, you're going up against Josh Allen. By the way, the last time the Bills and Bucks played a couple years ago, the Bucks won in overtime. I believe that was the Rashard Perriman game-winning touchdown in OT. Josh Allen played well in that game. They do have a dangerous group there. I'm going to take this as a loss for the Bucks. That's what I got down. It's right there. So that will now put us at 2-5. But again, it's a short week. Going up to Buffalo could be really tough on us. So again, you never know, but that's how I got it on my sheet here. So yeah, 2-5 at this point. Week 9, we're going to Houston, so it's another road game. November 5th, it's a 1:00 start. The Texans, again, this is a young team that did well in the draft. They got Will Anderson, their best defensive player. They made a trade up for him. And also they got their quarterback they wanted with the number 2 pick with C.J. Stroud. So 2 draft picks in a row on offense and defense. DeMeco Ryans, the former Niners offensive coordinator, is now the head coach in Houston. So he took Will Anderson in the draft. He's going to build around him. By week 9, usually teams start to gel a little bit here, but I feel like the Bucks can do the same thing. They're going to gel too, and I actually got a win here for the Bucks on the road to be their first road win. Houston, they're just not quite there yet, I'm going to predict. So, and the Bucks will do enough to win that game, and that would make us 3-5 on the season. Going over the next game, week 10, November 12th, we got the Tennessee Titans at home. We're back in Raymond James Stadium. The Titans, they have a lot of questions. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, Derrick Henry's there, but are they going to have enough offense to play well? I don't know. They got Trayvon Burks, the rookie, or now in his second year, wide receiver. Who's the quarterback going to be? Is Ryan Tannehill? There's been talks of Malik Willis. They're not really impressed with him. Who's it going to be? So with those question marks, I like the Bucks in this game. I think they're going to get another win here. That'll be 2 in a row. So they'll go 4-5 on the season at this point. So I chalk it as a win for the Bucks over the Titans. And then week 11, the 49ers in San Francisco, well, actually Santa Clara. Again, the Niners are a team that's contending for a Super Bowl. They got some quarterback issues themselves. Brock Purdy and Trey Lance, who's their starter going to be, but everywhere else, they're legit. Obviously Deebo Samuel. They got Trent Williams, their top offensive lineman. Defensively, they're Nick Bosa and those guys. Last year, the Bucks were humiliated in Santa Clara, and this is going to be a tough game. You got to go on the West Coast. Bucks usually don't play well on the West Coast. I'm actually going to go loss here, so the Bucks will not beat San Francisco in Santa Clara. So that gets us to, I believe, 4-6 now. Week 12, we go back on the road again. This is Thanksgiving weekend, and we're taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Again, this is one of those games where every year I have a game where I feel like we should win. We should win that game, but sometimes we don't show up for that game. and the Colts, it's kind of iffy. I want to make this a win here because, again, you could have a rookie, Anthony Richardson, starting. I know they got Gardner Minshew there now, but I actually put this as a loss. I don't know why. It's just gut feeling that this could be Anthony Richardson time, and he could light it up early. Honestly, this could be the week. It's 2 road games in a row, so going to San Francisco, then coming to Indianapolis. Now it could be that the Niners, that Niners game could get us going, and we can go into Indy and dominate there. But for some reason, I just feel like this could be one of those games where we should win, but we don't. And I got the Colts as a win for them and a loss for us. So that would make us 4-7 at this point. I know the record doesn't look good, but that's just based on my early predictions right now and seeing how the schedule's playing out. But now we go to week 13 back at home against Carolina, another division game. We're going to be facing number 1 pick Bryce Young, and we're pretty sure he's going to be starting from day one. But it's going to be a tough game. This defensive game, both defenses are really good. Last year, Carolina almost won the division. We had to beat them at home in week 15, I believe it was, to secure a playoff spot, or week 16, something like that. And they got hot toward the end of the year, and looks like they're going to try and keep that momentum going. But I do have a win here. I think the Bucs can win this game. It's at home. I know we've not always been great at home, but I feel like this could be the game that we can win, kind of get back on track. So that would make us 5-7 at this point. And then week 14, we go on the road again, just upstate to Atlanta. The Falcons, we beat them. I have them in as a win in week 7. However, I think in week 14, I could see this as a loss. Again, I think we're going to split the division this year, 3-3. And this will be one of our division losses. So I do have a loss. So this would be 5-8 for us. And then week 15, we go up to Green Bay on the road, cold weather. But again, no more Aaron Rodgers. It's the Jordan Love era, supposedly. We're not sure about them, how they're going to look. We'll get a good idea once December comes around, but I will say that this is actually going to be a win for us. I just got a feeling we can win this game. Again, our defense is going to have to carry us, and as long as they stay healthy, we'll be in every game, and I think we can win this game here against Green Bay. So I like that one. Give me Green Bay. Give me a win at Green Bay, so that would make us 6-8. Week 16, this is Christmas weekend, December 24th, Christmas Eve. We will be playing Jacksonville in Tampa. Again, Jacksonville coming off a great year last year. Won a playoff game. Almost beat Kansas City, the defending Super Bowl champions. They got Trevor Lawrence. This will be an interesting matchup. I think this game could go either way as well. We've had some luck recently with Jacksonville, so we've won the last couple times against them. But this Jacksonville team's, I think, talent-wise, is a little bit better at this point. And I got Jacksonville winning this game, so this is going to be a loss for us. So that would make us 6-9 on the season. And then week 17, New Year's Eve, we're at home against another home game, or home finale against the New Orleans Saints. I had the Saints beating us earlier in the year. That was week 4. Here in week 17, I'm going to say the Bucs even the series here. They get even. They win this game. So that'll make us 7-9 right here at this point. And then the Carolina Panthers to close out the season in Charlotte. This could go either way. We don't know where the teams are going to be at, but I'm going to say that this is probably going to be a loss. And I think Carolina, I have them winning this division this year. Based on their defense and some help with some offense for Carolina with the rookie Bryce Young. And I think Carolina is going to win this game. So on the season, I got them 7-10. Now, again, this is just based on how the schedule plays out. Again, we got the early bye week. That's sometimes that's good, sometimes that's not. But happen to be playing 13 games after the bye week, I think it can take a toll on certain teams. So yeah, this is the schedule here. Also, after I believe week 7, we only have 4 home games, and we have 7 road games. So it's a very tough stretch for this team. Looking at that schedule, it's very tough for the Bucs, because again, there's a lot of uncertainty. Now that we're replacing Tom Brady, the GOAT, and also defensively, can this team? We got a lot of new pieces coming on defense. We got some players like Joe Tyron Shianka who, maybe hasn't quite developed as some are hoping for. He did pretty good last year, but there should always be room for improvement. Logan Hall, is he going to take that next step? He was drafted last year too on the defensive line, but we did get Cansey to. We drafted him 19th overall, so I assume he's probably going to be the starter. And you'll see like Logan Hall, they'll rotate on that line. So it's going to be a tough schedule, but again, this is early predictions. We don't know. I could be totally wrong, or sadly, I could be right. So, but before we get into any more stuff, let me get to the comments here. I'm bucking with you. That's Sean Spencer. Thanks, Sean, for tuning in. Laugh out loud. Sean Spencer driving the North Carolina. Okay, stay safe, man. Drive safely. Safe travels. Scott Thaler, I'm here. Go Rams. Okay, Scott, good stuff. And said, Ben, you're fine. Oh, thank you. That's earlier from the technical difficulties. My laptop was kind of frozen, so I was trying to figure out what the issue was. That happens sometimes, guys. With live TV, anything can happen. So thanks for the comments, guys. So now we're going to go to our next topic here on the show. We're going to talk about this. The daunting question, the quarterback situation. As you can see there, Baker Mayfield on the left, Kyle Trask on the right. As you know, we're replacing Tom Brady. Now, nobody can replace Tom Brady. We know that. We'd be naive to think we can. But it's a new era here in Tampa, and Brady decided for good. He's retiring, and now the question is going to be, who's taking over? Is it Kyle Trask? Is it Baker Mayfield? So that brings us to the question, Bucs quarterback competition, or is it? Or is it actually a competition? Now, of course, people are going to, when coaches speak to the media, they're always going to say the right things. They're going to say, Dave Canales is going to say it's a quarterback competition. And he said in the media this week that, both Baker and Kyle are on equal footing once training camp starts. Sounds good, right? But my thing is, though, and why I say, is it really a competition? Because you got to think about this. Baker Mayfield, he's been in the league now for, I think this is going to be his 6th season. been in since 2018. Obviously, he spent 4 years with the Cleveland Browns, made a playoff game. So he does get a little credit there, although I believe that the defense and his weapons around him made him look really good. Baker then went to Carolina in a trade, obviously because the Browns wanted Deshaun Watson. So that didn't really quite work out there for Baker in Carolina. He only played like maybe 3 or 4 games, got injured, had an ankle injury. Then he got let go. Then the Rams signed him for the rest of the year. Didn't play too bad there. It looked like he had a nice grasp of Sean McVay's offense. And then he was a free agent, and he came over here. Baker said he chose the Bucs because he feels like he could still start in the league. Now, me personally, I try not to belittle, players, but I'm not a fan of Baker Mayfield. I think he's okay. He's not a guy that's going to move the needle. You have to have a very good team around him to succeed. Now, you could say that about every quarterback, but if you put Josh Allen on other teams or Joe Burrow on other teams or Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, those guys will succeed. But with Baker in Cleveland, he had some success, but he had, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. He had David Njoku, tight end. He had Joe Thomas, a great offensive lineman, I believe his rookie year. he had good stuff around him, good players around him, and he succeeded. But he did struggle too. He made some turnovers. At times didn't take care of the ball. And, that ultimately for the Browns, they had to make a decision. Do we stick with him or do we go after this guy named Deshaun Watson, who's at the time was, not playing? There were problems in Texans, the whole lawsuits with the massage and everything like that. Won't get into that, but they felt like, okay, we're going to go make a trade for Deshaun Watson. That's our guy. And Baker was the odd man out. And, now he's 2023. He's going to have another opportunity with the Bucs. Now, the good thing for Baker is he's got weapons around him. He's got 2 of probably the top 10 receivers in the NFL, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So he definitely has some weapons. Now with Dave Canales' offense, he likes to run the ball a lot. So you wonder, what are they going to do? Is that going to mean less catches for Evans and Godwin? Not necessarily. I mean, they're still going to throw the ball, I mean, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You're going to get them the football, okay? So that's not going to go away. But there is going to be a little more balance with the run and the pass. And I feel like Baker has a chance. And the real reason I say he does have a chance is because, again, he's got a good offensive system in place, good players on his offense that is going to help him, take less pressure off him, not make too many turnovers, too many questionable throws, stuff like that. So this could work for Mayfield. Now the question is, will it? Again, I'm not the biggest fan of his, but let's hope he can work with this offense. He's got the structure here. Again, it's just a 1-year deal, $4 million. Incentives could go up to like 8, I believe. So it's kind of a low risk, high reward thing. Now, that brings us to Kyle Trask. Let me get a sip of water. You're wondering, well, a lot of Bucs fans, I don't blame them. Like, hey, what about Kyle Trask? Dude, we drafted him in 2021, right? And he's only played maybe a quarter and a half for the Buccaneers in his 2 years here. That was against Atlanta, the last game of the season, where the Bucs had the division wrapped up. They rested Brady in the second half. Gabbert got some time in there, and then Kyle Trask went in. went 3 of 9, but so you didn't really see anything on Kyle Trask except those 9 throws. My thing is, I do think we need to see him at some point because, again, you drafted him in the second round. It's not like he was a first rounder. I get it. If he was a first rounder, yeah, you definitely want to see him. But I always felt like if the Bucs really felt like Kyle's the guy, I don't know if they would have went and got Baker Mayfield right away. Now, there's a lot of things behind that as well. I do believe that has something to do with Todd Bowles. They feel like they have a competitive window still where they can try and win a Super Bowl. Realistically, I don't think that happens, but they feel like with this division wide open, they can win it and make some noise in the playoffs. And in a way, I don't blame the Bucs for going to get Baker Mayfield, somebody like that, because he has the experience. He's been in the NFL. He started, several games. He's thrown 102 touchdowns in his career. So he's been at that level. Kyle Trask hasn't. Now, if this was a total rebuild, and let's say the Bucs were in a division where there maybe one or two other teams that were miles ahead of them, I believe you see Kyle Trask right away. But because the Bucs feel like they can still win this division, they're going to go with Baker right now. Now, again, they say that it's an open competition. They got to say that. They're not going to say, well, Baker's going to get the majority of the throw, stuff like that. But I believe, in my personal opinion, this is Baker Mayfield's job to lose. Kyle Trask is going to have to do something really spectacular in training camp, and Baker's going to have to really crap the bed if Trask is going to be the guy from day one. I just think this is Baker's job to lose at this point. But I will say we do need to see Kyle Trask at some point. And if Baker struggles early, and on the predictions I made earlier, 1 and 3, you have that bye week in week 5. So maybe then they can make that switch. Maybe you'll see Kyle Trask after the bye week. If the Bucs are struggling and Baker's not, moving this offense and making this offense look good, helping him out, looking good. So there's a lot of things going on here, and Kyle Trask will get an opportunity in training camp and in preseason. He will get a lot of snaps. I do believe that. But as of right now, I just think with the Bucs mindset of we could still win this division because it's not great. That's why they went and got Mayfield, and that's why they're going to – I'm just assuming they're going to make him the starter, But I could be wrong. Kyle Trask could be the guy too. Maybe they're, playing with us. They're toying with us. But, again, it's training camp. We'll see what happens. But I do believe at some point you got to see what you have in Kyle Trask. And, again, let's say the Bucs struggle and have a bad year. Put Kyle Trask in, see what he can do, and then see what you got going on, in 2024. And if either guy like Trask or Mayfield doesn't work out, then you could always look in the draft, next year. So obviously right now, the big name is Caleb Williams out of USC, Drake May out of North Carolina. You got Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. So the quarterback class is a little better next year, but again, hopefully the Bucs don't have to go that route. I've always said that they need some depth on that offensive line. Next year's offensive line class is supposed to be a lot better. I would love the Bucs to add depth to that and then go from there. Then make your decision on the quarterback. But as it stands right now, Caleb Williams, Drake May, kid Pratt from Tulane. I mean, Michael Pratt. Those are your top quarterback prospects, and if the Bucks feel like Mayfield's not the answer, or they feel like Kyle Trask either is not the answer or needs competition in the training camp next year, then you do have to think about drafting a quarterback. We'll see how it plays out, but for me, like I said, Baker's got the experience. He's been there. He's done that, good or bad. Kyle Trask, you've only seen him play in like a quarter and a half of regular season football. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see, in my opinion, Trask beating out Mayfield, at least initially. Like I said, if the Bucks struggle early, the offense isn't looking good, then you could probably see Trask in after the bye week. But if the Bucks are playing well offensively, and say they're like 2-2 or better, or hey, 1-3, but the Bucks offense still looks good, you're probably going to see Baker Mayfield stay in. So it's quite the dilemma, but that's why they brought a new offensive coordinator in, Dave Canales. He does run the ball a lot, so with his offense, he helped with Geno Smith last year in Seattle. Geno turned it around. They're hoping that Baker Mayfield has that same resurgence like Geno Smith did. But hey, they hope that Kyle Trask can really compete with him, make him better, or Baker Mayfield can make Kyle Trask better. We'll see what happens. It should be a very interesting training camp, one I'm looking forward to the most, along with the offensive line play. And some other news, the rookie mini camps have gone on. This is week or day 2 of that. I heard that Trey Palmer, the rookie wide receiver from Nebraska, is looking good so far. Servassier Dennis, the linebacker's looking pretty good. So the rookie training camp's going on there. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take off here on this weird episode of Let's Buck with Ben, episode 2. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier on. For some reason, my laptop froze right at the beginning. Not the best start, but hey, still finished it off pretty good. Like I said, most importantly, before we do anything, just go ahead and like and share this show. I greatly appreciate that. That helps grow this show. And there's above here is my social media handles: BennyBoy702 on Twitter, BenCornett9015 on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. And if you're watching on Facebook, it's on the Ben Zone. I did share it to my personal page if you're not on the Ben Zone Facebook group. But yeah, like and share that, please. And that should do it for this episode of Let's Buck with Ben, episode 2. Hopefully, the next episode, I don't have a freeze job on me on the at the beginning of the next episode. I'll give you more details of when that will be. Again, this is a seasonal episode. This is a seasonal show. Right now we're in May, so I would say maybe about once every other week or once every few weeks you'll get this episode of Let's Buck with Ben. But as soon as we get to training camp and preseason, regular season, that's when you're going to see weekly shows. You're also going to see we're going to have shows on pregame and postgame shows. So we'll probably maybe even do 2 shows a week, depending on the time and everything. So Bucks fans, thanks for joining me on this, again, weird episode of Let's Buck with Ben. From the beginning, I apologize again for my computer freezing there, camera freezing, but it's live TV. What are you going to do, right? So, but I was able to get through it, and I will give you more details when the next episode of Let's Buck with Ben will happen. Stay tuned for that. And you can follow me on my other shows as well on the Ben Zone and they're shown on my other social media handles. I do a wrestling show called Face to Heels. That is every Monday nights. We talk pro wrestling, WWE, AEW, other wrestling companies as well. So, and you can catch my show here on Friday nights called Have At It. I was on last night. We discussed the entire NFL schedule for all the primetime games. So you can catch me on there as well. And I got a college basketball show I do called the True 3 Bend Zone. That's seasonal as well. So you won't see that till probably the end of the year, early next year. So, everybody, with that being said, thank you for bucking with me here on this episode of Let's Buck with Ben. I will try to do better next time, and I will see you guys later. Have a good weekend, and stay tuned for the next episode of Let's Buck with Ben. Have a good day.